thriving in the Abaco Islands.
5 young boys create a rescue trampoline.
The first to run a marathon in under 2 hours.
We have seen what we thought was unseeable.
A relay of dogs will lead blind runner Tom Panic across the finish line.
Nicolas Mahut lost in the French Open, but then his 7-year-old son ran onto the cart to give his dad a big hug.
Her and her sister have been heroes for many little girls out there.
I want to thank my amazing mom. She's my hero.
I love you.
Exactly what I was thinking.
When you are free to be you, it is the best feeling in the world.
He's the Sully Sullenberger of pizza.
My family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans.
We know deep down what's right and what's needed.
I'm going to fight this.
Who says I can't? Nobody! Here it comes. Never been done in competition.
The category is love, y'all, love!
Use your heart, your courage and vision to fix, to heal, to empathize, to connect. Because living life for something bigger than yourself is a hero's journey.
Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Wisner and I'm your host of PowerUp Hero. This is a show all about being the hero of your story. PowerUp Hero is all about living what we call a powered up life. Because let's face it, living your best life, juggling a busy workload, trying to get it all done is quite impossible. Sometimes it feels like you have to pull superpowers from who knows where to get it all done. But you know, our world today needs heroes more than ever before. I'm sure you'll agree that being a hero is all about just surviving and thriving beyond anything that was possible before. It's really about seeing yourself as the best version of yourself and living through that lens. Being a celebrated leader in our community is really what being a hero is all about. Today, we're going to be bringing you a story about a power-up hero of resilience. We're going to be talking a little bit about what it really means to be a hero when you're faced with adversities. And what do you do? What do you do to survive? I mean, let's think about 2020 is about to come to an end. We're in Q4 now. What are you going to do in 2021? How are you going to throw those covers off? And when you maybe move into fear, like we've been doing maybe in 2020, some of us have been doing, think about how you're going to move into the best version of yourself in 2021. And it has to do with resilience. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you explain why some people get stuck during a crisis while others not only survive, but they eventually learn how to thrive? Today, we're going to start right off with a short video. Enjoy. You know, resilience is defined as the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. That short video you watched just showed how you can be resilient when faced with obstacles. It's about having toughness. It's about the ability to become to be able to spring back into shape, right? So you saw those shapes, they had to change themselves. You saw how they had to support each other. For you to be resilient, you really have to understand not only the environment that you're in, but you also have to understand that being resilient is almost like being a rubber band also. It's being able to spring back, but it's also being able to know when it's time to pull back a little bit, where you're doing too much so you don't snap. And also being able to understand when you may be doing too little, right? And you're not even being able to hold on to things. Resiliency is really all about facing adversity. And over the past 3 decades, our guest today, Dave Buzanko, has learned the secret of resilience as an entrepreneur, a husband, an Ironman athlete, which is an Ironman triathlete, which is why I'm dressed up in my Spartan gear today. I feel like I kind of have to show up strong for this interview, but I really felt inclined to come in super strong. I will even talk a little bit later about how I was actually going to be taking a walk while we're going through this interview, and I'll bring that in later. But let me tell you about our guest today. He's going to be talking all about resilience, and he is really being celebrated by us as our power-up hero of resilience, because I believe that during this interview, he's going to be sharing with you not only words of wisdom about how he has been resilient, but he'll share with you knowledge of how you can be resilient, how you can use those challenges and turn them into your strength, how you can go from being fragile to possibly being anti-fragile. Wouldn't that be amazing? So we'll talk about how you can learn to not only survive, but thrive, and also learn how to do that not only in your professional life, but also in your personal life. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my friend, Dave Buzanko. Welcome, Dave.
Hey, Lisa. Thanks for having me on the program.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So I'm so glad you were able to join us. You're such a hard guy to pin down. And it's so funny. I was just telling everybody I'm wearing all my Spartan stuff, and you're an Ironman triathlete. So it's pretty amazing to know how active you are, that it's really difficult to pin you down for an interview.
Well, and I'm going to apologize right off the bat if we do lose signal. I am hiking right now, so just part of my everyday thing. But yeah, happy to be on the show.
So y'all, you need to know this. This champion right here does not stop for anyone or anything. If I was going to interview him, he was going to be doing it while he was doing what he does. I love that. I love it. And so tell us where you are. Where are you? Where are you hiking right now?
So fortunately, I'm very blessed to live in a wonderful part of the world called the Niagara Peninsula in Ontario, Canada. I'm about a 15-minute drive from Niagara Falls, but I live right along what's called the Bruce Trail. The Bruce Trail stretches from Niagara Falls up to Tobermory, Ontario. So this hiking trail that I'm on is about 880 kilometers long. And my wife, Robin, and I go out hiking pretty much every day, just at the end of the day after work. And on weekends, we like to get on the trail. Yeah. So it's just part of being active and being, investing in your health every day.
Yeah. So you did apologize earlier that we would be losing a little bit of signal with you, but we really have to get this in. So as we're interviewing you, I will probably just be chiming in if we do lose a little bit of signal. But I want to reiterate this. So you're hiking right now, and you do this regularly. Why? Why is it so important to hike?
Yeah. So yeah, the whole idea here is what I learned when I was 40 is that if you don't invest, we're all following a routine every day. And whether we like it or not, it's a recipe of just redundancy and repetitiveness. And whether we're paying attention or not, most people aren't paying attention. And I just started paying attention at 40. I had a heart scare at 40. I was 50 pounds overweight. I was burning the candle at both ends as a business owner, and something had to change. We thought I was having a heart attack. They took me into the hospital. Turned out to be a massive stress attack, but things had to change. So, I went for a walk. Walk turned into a little bit of a run.
And we seem to be losing you just a little bit, Dave.
And sort of
you sound like like a computer.
It's history. I had all these chance encounters. Let me. Well, I should be a little. The signal should be stronger as we move through the interview here. But yeah, suffice it to say, I realize that if we don't invest in our own future, if we don't invest in our own health and well-being, bad things are going to happen, and sooner rather than later for most people. So, my wife and I just looked at each other and went. What was interesting is I looked at myself and went, I've got to start investing in my diet, my exercise, and just start investing in my heart health every day.
Okay.
And then my wife, who just at some point went, you know what, I don't want to get left behind. She joined along in her own way. And we found things that we love to do together. So while she works out in the way that she works out, doing HIIT exercise or HIIT routines and spinning on the spin bike, I love triathlon. And, we find a lot of common ground in exercise every day. We make room for that for each other every day.
Yeah.
And then we enjoy activities like this. Like, I think being able to go out and hike with your spouse is probably one of the most satisfying things you can possibly do.
I love that.
Builds a relationship, right? And you get to enjoy amazing scenery.
It does. And it's beautiful. It looks like the trees are changing color where you are.
Yeah, this is it's spectacular right now. We're just sort of in a little valley here. There's a nice little river running beside us down here to the left. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I was just saying to Lisa, on the other side of these hills are grape vineyards because we live in wine country. Yeah. So it's doubly spectacular.
I love that. So such a beautiful place.
It is beautiful, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start talking about resiliency, because you're the resiliency guy. So we're all here to learn how to be champions like you. So it almost sounds like you had some adversity and with your health, and it changed you to being more intentional with what you were doing. But talk to me a little bit more about maybe some of the adversities that you had, because if we're calling you the Power Up hero of resilience, why? What have you gone through that puts you in a position to defend resilience?
Yeah, there's been a number of things. I mean, we all face things in our lives. For me, I had my perfect storm as a business owner back when I was just about the time I turned 40. I actually experienced sabotage from one of my clients, one of my largest customers in Canada. I was a solopreneur, like many people are out there in business. And I had a customer just sabotage my business from the inside. Cost me to not only almost lose my business and go bankrupt, but also cost my health as well. And that provided the perfect storm where I had to sit back. And I remember the doctor in the ER just looking at me and going, you've got two choices. You can go on heart and cholesterol medication for the rest of your life, or you can lose some weight and get in shape. I mean, where do you even start with that? I chose that route, but I didn't even know where to begin. So as I said, I went on this journey for about the next 6 years. Until I got involved in triathlon. Yeah. And then I started learning about the process of training for Ironman. And then I started looking back and going, what just happened over the last 6 years? How did this all happen? What can I learn from this, and what can I share? So for me, one of the biggest things was actually just learning the process of periodized training. And for those people who actually go through my training program now for resilience, they're going to find out about how creating a playbook for your life is the best way to keep on track. And that's what we do as triathletes. We plan our year of training, and then we follow our playbook every day to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable. And we stop and we reflect, and we look at what's working, what's holding us back. And these are all key ingredients to being more resilient in your life. Now, for me, if you want to unpack resilience for me, it's like a tripod. There's 3 pillars or 3 legs. One is physical resilience, one is mental resilience, and one is personal growth or personal resilience. And all 3 have to be in check. All 3 have to be in balance, or the tripod falls over. So you might see very successful people at any end of the spectrum, but then something terrible happens to them because their life, for whatever reason, wasn't in balance, right? You can see marathon runners who drop dead of a heart attack. And you think, well, that person shouldn't have died of a heart attack. They should be bulletproof. But they had other parts of their life that weren't in check. Maybe they were being too excessively over enthusiastic with the exercise and not really paying attention to the mental side of it, or the personal growth side, which says, hey, I might be doing damage to my body, more damage than good. Were we really designed to run this much, right? Asking those kind of questions.
Yes.
And I asked that question as an Ironman. I've done 3 full Ironmans, lots of halves.
Yeah.
And I've slowed down because I've asked the questions, is this really serving me in the long term, or is this just serving my ego in the short term?
You're pushing yourself too hard. Yes, for the ego, right?
Right. So part of reflection and having balance is really looking back every month and going, is this really where I want to be going? Is the outcome of this give me the outcome that I want? I often, when I get all the ingredients, I can have a square pan, but if it doesn't come out round with a hole in the middle, it's cake, but it's not a bundt cake. It's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And so often in life, we just sort of go through life and we don't ask enough questions, right? Like I learned to ask better questions and demand better answers. And I think when you do that, right, you end up being more informed and being able to make more informed decisions.
I love that. And so as we're calling you the Power Up Hero Resilience, and I like how you brought in your course that you have. So I purchased your course on Udemy, and it's about creating resilience in your life. So for those of you all watching, he has a course you can take, and it talks about the playbook. So you'll learn how to have a playbook for resiliency. And now we realize that the reason you need a playbook, it's almost like you're running an Ironman in life. Okay, you need a playbook of how you're going to survive, right? And so it sounds like this book will be keeping us on track.
It is. And the thing is, I learned from 5-time Ironman world champion Craig Alexander earlier on in my career, I'm going to say like 5 years ago. Craig told me that, you know, the bones of every training program are the same. It's what how we tweak it just a little bit. The difference. And what he meant by that was,
and we're really losing you, Dave. So wherever you are, whichever part of the forest you're in, wherever you're forest bathing, as I hear people call it, we can't hear you. So as we get Dave back, I just want to let y'all know that he has this really awesome course that you can go on Udemy, udemy.com, and you can get his course and I guess just learn a little bit more about him. But let me just go ahead, and if you don't mind, Dave, I'm going to go ahead. Hopefully you can hear me, Dave. I'm going to go ahead and play a video just to give you some time to probably catch up to what we're doing right now, okay? We'll see you in a little bit.
Guys, I just got us a meeting with Vivian.
What? How?
I just bumped into her.
And what, you just asked for a meeting?
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do?
Actually.
When?
Just now.
No, when's the meeting?
Oh, Thursday, 8 a.m.
Next Thursday.
Yes.
No, this Thursday.
What? That's impossible.
We can do this, okay? Roundbox is back.
It's just a sketch. That's all we have.
2 days? We need 2 weeks.
This is how we get off this floor.
Dave, can you get some sales figures on pizza boxes?
I feel sick.
It's so simple. Round pizza, round box. Perfect.
Hey, who's hungry?
We have to prove what's wrong with pizza boxes.
They're square.
Wasted space.
Yeah.
Do I really have to go see Mike in finance?
Yep.
Hey, Mike. I was wondering if you could send me this
Inbox.
We have this idea. We need some sort of 3D prototype.
I gotta pick up the kids.
I just want to get you all together. We need to find a name for the box.
Roundabout.
Squircle?
Circle box?
Who's that? Hey Siri, turn on Do Not Disturb. Brian.
I'm awake!
Hey Siri, tell Bridget I'm running late.
No. This is wrong. This is all wrong.
Dave, can you please double check those figures for us?
Did anyone hear from Ed in warehouse?
He's putting together the prototype now.
What are you guys working on?
Nothing.
Nothing. Move that over there.
Make that title bigger.
Guys!
We're almost there.
You got all works. I mean, I don't even...
What are you doing, bud? Hey, can I have that back?
No!
I'll email you the video.
Just airdrop it to me.
Sweet. You guys, I just got the prototype.
Whoa. This is gonna look so good in the presentation.
Awesome.
Wow.
It's time.
Did anyone press a button?
Welcome back, everyone. So it looks like we may have lost Dave altogether. So I'm just going to wrap it up with some information from his course that he has. For those of you who just joined us, we had Dave Buzanko, who was here with us interviewing. He is a triathlete, Ironman. He's done so many amazing things that have to do with resilience, which is why we're celebrating him as our power-up hero of resilience. And one of the lessons that we learned from him today was that you have to learn how to just not survive. A lot of times we're thinking about survival and thinking that's what we want. We just want to survive the day. You have to thrive in the face of adversity. You have to go from being fragile to anti-fragile. And the things you do are really what matter. The things you have to keep score of the things you're doing to make sure that you're getting there. A lot of times when you're faced with adversity, sometimes it has to do with fear. You're fearful. But I will tell you this, fear feasts on time. And the more time you spend thinking about the thing you're fearful about, the more you're going to be fearful of it. If you imagine yourself when you were a kid thinking about that monster under the bed, the more time you thought about that monster and the more you created the images of what that monster looked like, the bigger the monster got. So if you're fearful about anything, I always say just go, right? Fire. I have this whole thing that we teach our power up youth to just fire first, right? Because sometimes you hear ready, aim, fire, and you can be stuck just getting ready because you're scared and I don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it. And you're just so fearful. You should just fire, and then take a step back, get ready to aim so you can fire again. Okay. So always lead with your beta person. So we see Dave is trying to come back. So I was going to close out the show. So I'm going to just, I guess, keep it going until Dave comes back on the show. I think he's connecting one of his devices. But part of this show is also to just share some really great information for you about what Power Up is really all about. So I guess I will go into that just very slightly, but it looks like Dave is here. So he's rescued me from having to go on a riff about what Power Up stands for. So Dave, welcome back. We're glad you're back. And we have some people watching right now. Okay, so we have some people who are saying, keep up the great work, Lisa. Good stuff. We need to hook up. We really do need to link up. We'll definitely do that. Dave, are you back with us? Dave is stuck in what I call like the robot low bandwidth mode where you can't even see him. But we may have to catch up with Dave on another time because he was enjoying his walk with his wife, and so we've interrupted his walk with his wife. So this is the universe telling us that we need to give him his time with his wife. So Dave, are you back with us?
I'm back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that I'm doing what I can to stay in an area where I think the signal will be better.
Okay. So let's just, I guess, just talk through very quickly before we lose you again, because you're right there next to the Niagara Falls. You know, who knows what's happening over there. So let's talk a little bit, I guess, for me personally, I want to talk a little bit about maybe give some people, this is really selfishly seeking advice for myself. How can we move into 2021 feeling like we have a fresh start? What can we do? Do you have any advice? What can you tell us about thriving in 2021? Because not only are you our power up hero of resilience, your superpower is thriving. And as Dave's internet.
No one, you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now, Dave. We may have to. I think we'll probably have to reschedule the interview so we could probably hear you because it's pretty bad. So I guess I can tell people like thriving is all about growing and developing yourself. You know, I think thriving is also about prospering, flourishing. So so that's probably maybe what Dave was going to tell us, that we need to think about how we can flourish. We need to have a growth mindset. And I think for me personally, visualize what 2021 looks like. And we're not even close to 2020. We are close to 2021, but we're not there yet. What can you do to inch yourself closer to having a successful 2021? Whatever you can do in this quarter, do it. Do it so you can move forward in your life. So we learned 3 lessons from Dave. I'm going to recite them to you. We learned to have a resilience playbook. So you need a playbook for that. And you need to deal with your 3-prong approach, which is the physical resilience, mental resilience, and personal resilience. So if one of those legs gets broken, then you are gone, right? So pretty much you're going to fall off, or you're going to get frustrated, and things just won't work out your way. If you want to find out more about Dave, I have a banner with his website that you can go to his website, find out more about him. You should connect with him on LinkedIn because he goes live on LinkedIn. So he does LinkedIn live streams. I think it's every Tuesday, and he talks about resilience. Remember, this guy has really overcome many things, and so we didn't get to go through all of them, but it's important for you to know that he's a great person to be in touch with, and we'll bring him back. We'll bring him back so we can talk more about resilience. So I want to thank you so much for watching the show today. I know it didn't go as expected, but that's how technology goes. Sometimes it just does not work out. So before we end the show today, I do have a video that I wanted to share with you, and this video comes to us from Scarlet Contra el Cancer organization in California, I believe, and their mission is to bring attention to care and comfort for those who are suffering. If you are looking for an opportunity to be resilient, I hope that this story will do that for you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your Saturday. Bye.
Hold my breath, hush my head, count my steps. I need this more than ever. Might feel strange, but I'm not afraid. Every day I try but can't forget it. Hey, I need a new way. That's just a give and take. Make mistakes, keep on hoping, hoping for the day